In the grand, silent study of his sprawling estate, Elara's grandfather, a man whose wealth was as vast as his distrust, sat in his worn leather armchair. His eyes, though seemingly closed in an afternoon nap, were keenly observing. For 52 years, life had taught him a brutal lesson. Everyone had a price, every relationship a hidden agenda. He'd built an empire, but in doing so, had erected insurmountable walls around his heart. The open safe, casually displaying stacks of crisp bills and gleaming gold coins, was no accident. It was a carefully laid trap, designed to expose the true nature of his new maid's daughter, Elara. She was just a child, with her 2 large yellow cleaning gloves and a unicorn notebook. But in his experience, even innocence could be bought. The grandfather clock chimed 3, its deep resonance echoing through the mansion. Before we continue, tell us where in the world you are watching from. Drop it in the comments below. And if you enjoy this story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more powerful content like this. His assistant's voice crackled through the intercom, announcing the arrival of the new maid, Lily. Elara's grandfather tracked Lily on the security monitors. 34 years old, single mother, impeccable references, too impeccable perhaps. Everyone had a breaking point. He believed it was simply a matter of finding it. Lily moved with practiced efficiency. A small, bright-eyed figure, Elara, her 8-year-old daughter, trailing behind. "Mama, this place is bigger than our whole apartment building," Elara whispered, her voice carrying in the vast space. "Hush now, baby. Remember what I told you? Stay quiet and don't touch anything. Mr. Stone is very particular about his things." He allowed a slight smirk. His employees called him cold, calculating, paranoid, and they weren't wrong. Paranoia had kept him alive, had protected him from betrayal by his own brother and former CFO. As the days turned into weeks, a routine formed. Lily would clean, and Elara would quietly do her homework, sometimes offering a shy, "Good afternoon, Mr. Stone," that he never returned. Yet, he noticed things. Elara always removed her shoes, carefully picked up pencil shavings, and shared her meager snacks with her mother. She was sharp, he observed to his head of security, Marcus. "Kids see everything," Marcus had replied, but Elara, he suspected, understood more than most. Her dark eyes held a wisdom beyond her years, a careful watchfulness that mirrored his own. The idea for a new test struck him on a Thursday. Not for Lily, she was thoroughly vetted, but for the child. Children, he reasoned, hadn't yet learned to hide their true nature. He adjusted the hidden cameras in his office, ensuring every angle was covered. The safe, usually secured by a 12-digit code and biometric scanner, stood slightly ajar, stacks of money and gold coins visible inside. A few bills lay scattered on the Persian rug. He settled into his chair, loosened his tie, and closed his eyes, feigning a nap. The wait was brief. He heard Elara's voice, then Lily's, their footsteps approaching his purposefully cracked office door. "Mama, Mr. Stone's door is open." "Don't go in there, baby." That's his private office. But curiosity, that most powerful force, had already taken hold. Elara entered, cautious as a deer. She saw him, seemingly asleep. Then her gaze fell on the open safe. His pulse quickened. This was the moment of truth. The money was right there, easy to take. She knelt, and he tensed, ready to catch her. But instead of taking, Elara carefully gathered the fallen bills, smoothing them and placing them back inside the safe. She struggled with the heavy door, pushing it mostly shut. Then she paused, picked up a glass paperweight from the desk's edge, placed it safely in the center, and with infinite gentleness straightened his twisted tie. "Sleep good, Mr. Stone," she whispered. "Mama says everyone needs rest, even rich people." Then she was gone. He remained frozen, his mind reeling. 30 years of business, hundreds of tests, and almost everyone had failed. Greed was human nature, but this child, this 8-year-old girl, had just shattered his worldview with a simple act of honesty. He stood, pulling up the camera footage, watching it again and again, searching for an angle he'd missed. There was nothing, just a little girl doing what she thought was right, with no expectation of reward. He poured himself a drink, a 25-year-old single malt, and stood at his window, the setting sun painting the sky. In his chest, a feeling he hadn't experienced in years stirred. It felt uncomfortably like shame. The security footage played for the 5th time. Each viewing revealed new details. Elara humming softly, wiping a smudge from the safe door, carefully stepping around the rug. He watched well past midnight, Marcus's nightly check-in, confirming all clear. "Marcus," he'd asked, "what would a child do if they found money lying around?" "Most would probably pocket some of it, boss. Human nature." Marcus hadn't questioned further, but Elara's grandfather had a reason for asking. He pulled up Lily's employment file again. Single mother, 3 jobs, barely keeping her head above water, medical debt from her mother's cancer treatment, student loans from a nursing degree never finished, rent in a rough part of town. By all logic, Lily should be desperate enough to steal, and if not her, certainly her child. Yet neither had taken the bait. The next morning, gray and drizzly, matched his unsettled mood. He worked from home, but in truth, he was waiting. At 3:15, Lily arrived with Elara. He watched them through the security system. "Mama, my shoes are all wet," Elara said. "We'll put them by the heating vent to dry." He timed his walk to the kitchen perfectly, passing them as they settled in. "Good afternoon, Mr. Stone," Elara chirped. He nodded curtly, not trusting himself to speak. Lily offered a respectful "sir" and continued on her way. He lingered, listening. "Mama, yesterday Mr. Stone left his money box open," Elara was saying. "I put the money back and closed it." He leaned closer. "You did what, Elara Grace?" Lily's voice was sharp with fear. "You know better than to go into Mr. Stone's office." "But Mama, his door was open and he was sleeping. I thought maybe he forgot." "I don't care if his door was wide open with a welcome sign. That's his private space. You could get us both fired. Do you understand how serious this is?" "I'm sorry, Mama. I just wanted to help." "And you didn't take any of it, did you?" Lily's voice was strained. "No, Mama. You know I would never." "I know, baby, I know. But Mr. Stone doesn't know that. Rich people like him, they always think people like us are trying to take advantage. That's why we have to be extra careful, extra honest. One mistake, and we're out." Something twisted in his chest. Lily was right. He always thought that way. But hearing it spoken aloud, hearing the fear in Lily's voice as she tried to protect her daughter from his judgment, it sat like acid in his stomach. He returned to his office, his mind wandering. At 5, a soft knock. Elara stood there, a glass of water. "Mr. Stone, Mama says you've been working all day. She says even rich people get tired and need water." "I don't need," he began, then stopped. The girl's face fell. He reached for the glass. "Thank you." Her smile lit the room. "You're welcome. Mama says staying hydrated is important. She learned that when she was studying to be a nurse." She caught herself, eyes widening. "I mean, have a good evening, Mr. Stone." She scurried away, leaving him holding the glass, wondering about the story she'd almost told. Lily had studied nursing. Why hadn't she finished? He made a mental note to investigate. The water was room temperature. Tasted faintly of the lemon Lily used to clean, but he drank it all. That night, memories surfaced. His father's business partner, his college girlfriend, his own brother. Each betrayal had built another wall around his heart. Trust, he'd learned, was a luxury for fools. But why did Elara's honesty shake him so deeply? The next morning, Elara's grandfather made a decision. One test wasn't enough. Children could be coached. Perhaps Lily had instructed her daughter to act honestly. He needed more data. This time, he scattered jewelry across his desk. A watch, diamond cufflinks, a platinum tie clip. All expensive, all small enough to disappear unnoticed. He positioned himself in the adjoining conference room, door cracked. Lily and Elara arrived at 3:15. While Lily cleaned the bathroom, Elara wandered past his office, textbooks in hand. She paused, peering inside. "Oh no," she whispered. He tensed, but instead of stealing, Elara looked for her mother. "Mama," she called, "Mr. Stone left his door open again, and his special things are all over his desk." Lily appeared, wiping her hands. "What?" "Elara, stay away from there." "But Mama, what if someone else sees? What if someone takes them? And Mr. Stone thinks it was us." He watched Lily war with herself, torn between not entering and protecting herself from suspicion. "Okay, we'll tell Marcus about it. He'll know what to do." But Elara was already pulling on her yellow gloves. "I'll just organize them nice and neat. That way, they'll be safe." Before Lily could stop her, Elara had entered the office. With the same meticulous care she'd shown with the money, she gathered the jewelry, polished each item with a tissue from her pocket, and arranged them neatly by size. "There," she said. "Now they won't roll off and get lost." Lily stood in the doorway, shaking her head. "Baby, you can't just—" "It's okay, Mama. I am helping. Mr. Stone worked so hard, he probably just forgot. Like when you forget where you put your keys because you're thinking about bills." The innocence of the comparison, his carelessness with fortune equated to Lily's everyday stress, struck him unexpectedly. He watched Lily hug her daughter tightly. "You have a good heart, baby. Just be careful with it, okay? Not everyone deserves your trust, even Mr. Stone." Lily glanced around nervously. "Especially people with power, Elara. They don't always see us as real people. To them, we're just workers, employees, replaceable." He retreated further into the shadows. Was that what he'd become? Someone who saw humans as mere functions, risks, or tools? When had he stopped seeing people and started seeing only risks and opportunities? Weeks passed. He created more tests, important documents, his wallet, a signed blank check. Every time, Elara returned the items or alerted her mother. Never once did she take anything, not even her favorite peppermints left unattended. "Mr. Stone forgot his candy," she told her mother. "Should we put it in his office?" "That's not our job, baby. Leave it." "But what if ants come?" Her concern for his property, even candy, baffled him. He'd tested CEOs who failed in minutes. This 8-year-old girl consistently chose honesty. One evening, he overheard Lily's phone conversation. "No, Mama, I can't take that from you. I know the treatment is expensive, but you need that money. Please don't cry. I'm working on it. Mr. Stone pays well, and if I can just pick up a few more houses." "No, we're not going to lose the apartment. Yes, Alara is doing fine in school. I know you want to help, but you need to focus on getting better." He pulled up Lily's financial records, nearly $200,000 in medical debt for her mother's cancer treatment. Lily was drowning, working herself to exhaustion, and still, she hadn't taken a penny. For the first time in decades, he questioned everything he thought he knew about human nature. His fortress of mistrust was beginning to show cracks. Through those cracks, something long dormant was beginning to grow. The morning after overhearing Lily's phone call, Alara's grandfather found himself arriving late to his own office. He'd spent the night staring at spreadsheets detailing Lily's quiet desperation and stubborn pride. Marcus called. "Boss, Mrs. Washington will be 30 minutes late. Her mother had a doctor's appointment that ran over." "Fine," he said, oddly disappointed. He'd grown accustomed to Alara's cheerful greeting. When they finally arrived, he pretended to work, his attention fixed on a security monitor. Alara looked subdued. Lily's face bore the signs of someone who'd been crying. He pulled up Lily's social media. Her latest post at 2 a.m. read, "Faith is believing that somehow, some way, it will all work out. Has to. No other choice." Below it, a friend's comment, "Girl, just take the money. You know I can help." Lily's response, "Thank you, D, but no, I work for what I have. Always have, always will. That's the example I'm setting for Alara." He closed the laptop harder than necessary. Stubborn, impractical pride. In his world, pride was a luxury. Lily Washington could not afford it. Yet she wore it like armor. That afternoon, Alara sat drawing. He walked past, purely coincidentally, and glimpsed her artwork. 3 figures in front of a small house. A woman, a little girl, and an elderly woman with a bandana. "That's lovely," he heard himself say. Alara jumped, covering the drawing. "Oh, Mr. Stone, I'm sorry. I finished my homework." "It's fine." He stood awkwardly. "Is that your grandmother?" Alara nodded. "That's Grandma Rose. She's sick, but Mama says she's the strongest person in the whole world. She used to be a teacher, you know. She taught Mama everything about being good and honest and working hard. And she taught you, too. She tries, but she gets tired now because of the medicine. Sometimes she forgets things. But when she remembers, she tells me stories about when Mama was little and how proud she is of her for raising me right, even when things are hard." The casual acknowledgement of hardship without self-pity struck him. When was the last time he'd heard someone speak of struggle without immediately following it with a request for help? "Mr. Stone," Alara said suddenly, "why do you have so much money but look so lonely?" The question hung in the air like a challenge. His automatic defenses rose. "That's not an appropriate question," he said stiffly. Alara's face fell. "I'm sorry. Grandma Rose says I ask too many questions. She says curiosity is good, but I need to learn when to keep it inside my head." "Your grandmother sounds wise." "She is. She says rich people have their own troubles, just different ones. She says money can't buy the important things." "And what do you think the important things are?" Alara considered seriously. "Family, friends, being able to sleep without worrying you did something wrong. Hugs. Definitely hugs. When was the last time someone hugged you, Mr. Stone? The question was so unexpected, so gently delivered, he actually took a step back. When was the last time? His mother's funeral, 15 years ago. That's not. Mama gives the best hugs, Ilara continued. When I'm sad or scared, she hugs me and everything feels better. Maybe you should try it sometime. Ilara, Lily's voice called. Stop bothering Mr. Stone. I'm not bothering him, Mama. We're having a conversation about important things. Lily appeared, face flushed. I'm so sorry, Mr. Stone. Ilara, come here right now. As Ilara gathered her things, he heard her whisper. I wasn't trying to be rude. I know, baby, but you can't just ask people personal questions like that, even if they look sad, especially then. They moved away, but not before he caught Lily's worried glance back at him. He retreated to his office. Lonely? The child had seen through his billions, his security, his maintained distance, and identified the one thing he'd never admitted to himself. He was lonely. That evening, he walked through his mansion really looking at it. 27 rooms, most never entered. Priceless art, never appreciated. A dining table for 20, yet for a decade, he'd eaten alone. It was all cold and lifeless as a museum. In the kitchen, he found Lily putting away supplies. She froze. I'm almost finished, Mr. Stone. I'll be out of your way. Your daughter asks a lot of questions. Lily's face went pale. I'm so sorry about earlier. I've talked to her about boundaries. It won't happen again. She asked why I looked lonely. The words hung between them, Lily calculated. Children see things adults learn to ignore, she finally said. And what do you see? Lily met his gaze steadily. A man who's built walls so high, he's forgotten what's on the other side. The boldness should have angered him. 2 months ago, it would have been immediate termination. But now he was oddly grateful for the honesty. Your mother, he said, changing the subject. The treatment isn't working. Lily's professional mask slipped, revealing raw fear. The doctors say she needs a different protocol. More aggressive, more expensive. How much more expensive? More than I'll make in the next 5 years, even with 3 jobs. She straightened her shoulders. But I'll figure it out. I always do. Through pride and stubbornness? The question came out harsher than he intended. Lily's small smile disappeared. My daughter has a roof over her head, food in her belly, and she's learning that honest work has dignity. So yes, Mr. Stone, it's working. She gathered Ilara and left without another word, leaving him alone in his pristine, empty kitchen. That night, he made a decision.